Hey, what's going on? I just finished triggering in a briefing for what will become the second map of Rivalry. If you haven't played that, you should check out the started.net thread um, when it's released, which should be pretty soon. Given that October only has a couple more days in it, and it's got to be released by the end of the month. So I'm exhausted from that, but I wasn't really ready to sleep yet because I'm a crazy insomniac. So I figured we could hop back into the Phoenix. And last time I commented on the kind of absurd appearance of this little animated thing that they have in the top left here, but looking back, I probably should have mentioned that bin editing, which is the stuff that the software bin edit way back when, I believe, is what they were using for these kinds of changes, is a very primitive program. Bin edit 2 is superior, but still somewhat limited, and it's actually, I believe, the only thing we have to edit bin files other than maybe the PyQuartz PYMS Python modding suite. So I'm really not sure how much better they could have made it, or realistically could have made it, I should say, with the tools they had available to them, and it's something I felt like it was prudent to point out. But we are going to go back into the Phoenix for the time being, just on the basis of the fact that I feel like we can still learn more from this project, technically, and I think that it could be cool to look at. Like, I'm thinking of doing I believe it's Fall of the Gods. It's or no, it's War of the Clans? War of the Tribes. That's it. So I was thinking of War of the Tribes in that case, and that is just a fan-made campaign that deals in like alternate history, kind of their own interpretation of the lore and how it could be. And that's something that is a useful concept as well, a useful topic of conversation when it comes to creating your own campaigns. Is, well, it's not like this is saying, well, this could have happened, or, well, you know, we're kind of working with what the story gave us to fill in the gaps in areas that they didn't show us in the official lore, or it's areas that they didn't write out yet because at the time of the campaign was making, there was no sequel to StarCraft Brood War at the time, because of course there's a huge discrepancy, a huge time gap between Brood War and StarCraft 2. So when this was made, for example, the Phoenix is kind of like working off as a continuation of the story, a sequel, if you will. And War of the Tribes is actually a very good example of something that's not like that at all. This is dealing with adding completely new elements, changing things completely, and actually fan-conning, and some people would say, changing the lore entirely. So we might delve into that for maybe the 4th episode, but for now I want to stick with this project just because it'll give us some consistency. It can help us explore, once again, the mindset of a 1999 era campaign maker, which at this point Desler was. So the brief respite. Raynor, Devru, and Sandalaz enjoy a brief respite on Shakuras after some hard work. So it looks like by the size of this might be actually a cinematic, but it could be interesting to see another in-game cinematic if that is the case. And I do want to point out that one thing Desler, I feel, could have done, there's no scroll function at this point, but so we didn't know that Mission 1 was out of the frying pan, I don't believe. We didn't know Back on Ire was the title of Mission 2. I don't remember seeing these titles here. Something that you could do is say, like, Map 1, Map 2, Map 3, and then, or Chapter, if you're feeling more, you know, not edgy, I would say dramatic or cinematic. So it's interesting to me that he titles the missions, has titles for them. It's not like they're just Mission 3, right? But he doesn't actually go through and put them into the briefing. And I feel like this is a very vanilla thing to do, because at this point he didn't replace the missions in the campaign. So it's not like you could say, oh, well, it's like the Brood War presentation of missions where the campaign puts the little notice in front of your face saying mission and then like where you are and stuff. Like, you got to migrate that into the briefing if you're not going to replace the files in the campaign, which I believe at this time there wasn't really feasible. Fall from Grace does that, actually, and they also have a fan-made cutscene as well. So we might explore that, we might revisit that, because I already have LP'd that years and years and years ago, but not from this analytical point of view and not for a, something like philosophy of design, which is, of course, very new. Without further ado, we'll get into the briefing and then into the mission. It certainly was good fighting on Ire again. After we abandoned it 6 months ago, the moral, not morale, of the Protoss race has dropped to an all-time low. It certainly did their warrior spirits good to fight again. We've been doing nothing but survey missions and exploratory research for a while. My forces have secured the area for the time being. Let us take a break in Shakuras for a while. This project certainly must have been trying on you, and there is an old friend who wishes to speak with you. Come, we have much to discuss. So, old friend, I imagine it's Zeratul. This one line is the briefing, very quick. I'm not so sure if that's necessarily how you should do it. It says all heroes must survive, so I imagine we actually do get to play. Oh, we do have control of some units here. Zeratul, it's good to see you again. When was the last time we saw something? I don't know. Yes, in the Arini sector, those tag beasts almost cornered us in that cave. Fortunately, Artanis was near, so apparently Artanis has a knack for saving random individuals. Always to serve, Zeratul. So we do have some minor ambience here. You can see a shuttle flying down. Yes, I can't remember when the last we fought the Zerg together. They sure have been keeping quiet. All we've had to worry about are the factions that split into after the Terran Dominion collapse. So this is Terran Dominion has collapsed in the aftermath of Brood War, which makes sense. Looks like a Zealot popped out of that. Oh, looks like we also just crashed. Okay, so I do want to point out that I actually crashed the game because I forgot to disable my second monitor. Once again, I gotta get in the knack of or habit of doing that. However, it looks like Desler forgot to tick the option that removes the color cycling. I was going to bring that up, actually, but the dialogue happened pretty quickly, and then we crashed. The colors didn't seem to be too consistent, because I believe we were teal or something in the first mission, and I think we might have been consistent in the second, but looks like this time around, not quite like that. So, assuming we do get attacked, I am going to move the civilians away, and Zeratul's going to talk about tag beasts, which might be a reference to some obscure SC wiki page that I haven't edited and filled with Tony. But I was talking about the ambience. I looked like a Zealot flew out of this gateway at some point, and you have the Protoss base mining over here, which is pretty cool. They sure have been keeping quiet. Yeah, so there's no Zerg they're talking about. I imagine for irony's sake, there will be Zerg at some point pretty soon. Indeed, that has been troubling me as of late. The Zerg have not made any attacks on Shakuras, nor anywhere else for that matter. They seem to be holding the territory they have now. It is very unlike the Zerg or Kerrigan. Got some more Zealots marching around here. So this is very cool. I like the fact that we do have some stuff like that going on, and the Protoss are even building something. I do not have a cybernetic score. I've just noticed that as well. The UED have been unable to locate Kerrigan for the past 5 months. We're not actually getting transmissions. It's just text.
Going my way.
And no, muted. What are you suggesting? Trouble in paradise, or rather hell? So I don't even... we're already having identity crises with these heroes. I won't presume to assume anything, Commander Raynor. We have been monitoring your plan for this new ship of yours carefully. I understand it will be ready soon. Once it's complete, I'd like to take it and a task force to Char. Another shuttle flying around. So the only way they could have avoided necessarily having them fly off screen and delete themselves in front of us. I'm just pausing so this text doesn't disappear. Oh, fuck! It disappeared. Yeah, he just said, Char, what do you want to do there? I'm just pausing it so that the cinematic doesn't disappear, because I do want to harp on this moment, is for some reason he wants to reveal the entire map, the same thing that he did in the first cinematic. And we can admire the terrain, right? He does populate it with some doodads here and there, and it does force him to populate the map with doodads and design the terrain. Unfortunately, all very worthy causes, but if we are to defeat the Zerg once and for all, we must dig them out from the source. I believe the best place to locate Kerrigan would be Char. Her last noted position was on Char Aleph, I hope is what he was saying. So, but to get back to this is like a big issue with, well, not really a big issue, but, you could just leave those areas of the map, don't reveal the whole map, and instead, what you can do is have those shuttles fly into the fog of war, but you have the player a bit more immersed, because at that point you're not assuming that they're just like you're not seeing them disappear. Obviously, that's kind of a limitation of the engine if you do have vision of where they're going. But you know, they're obviously a different player, and we could have only had vision of the purple player. So to see them fly over our heads would have actually been pretty neat. The most we could have done is like take Artanis and follow them. That's if we don't want to be immersed, and that's obviously something that you can't really assume players are going to do, since typically players are just going to sit here and try to read your text as it scrolls past their face too fast. Although admittedly I have been a sour reader, or bad reader I guess. Right, but for now that my people are tired, let us rest on Shakuras for another day, then we can head up to Ire to get the ship. They just left it on Ire. That seems like a bad idea. Very well, it will be good to do battle again, Raynor. Let us rest now. So this looks like it... Not so sure if that was it for the mission. It was. So that was the whole premise of that map. And I feel like we could have just had a briefing explain that to us without having to go in the map. I mean, it was cool to see the settlement, but unless something happened there, or something more sizable than just that, like even in a cinematic, I don't even know why we had control of our heroes. It's just a very strange thing. It felt very out of place. But that's what Desler wanted it with it, I suppose. System online, says the computer. Warning, multiple Zerg tracked entering planetary atmosphere, tracking 1346, 2180, 4516. So this is the number of Zerg. Protoss cities Silamrut and Lutarez under attack, initiating planet-wide alert. ... I didn't know Doug Villey did this. Alert initiated. Doug Villey wrote the script for the Terran computer, apparently. ... Ugh, computer, what in the hell's going on? It's 2 a.m. in the morning. Good one, Desler. Planet-wide alert. Zerg forces establishing hive clusters in southern regions. Protoss forces responding. Multiple Dragoons and carriers engaging. Warning, structure under attack. 30 seconds till estimated collapse. Well, that's a cool wake-up call, I suppose, you know? Devro, Sandalaz, get everyone out of this command center now. Move, move, move. So I think we're still on Shakuras. Obviously, I have no grasp of that. Work with the Protoss forces, destroy all Zerg buildings. Okay, so it looks like Zerg are aware of our plans.
You lead, I follow.
Commander Raynor, our forces have engaged the Zerg. They are scattered about the province. We didn't expect an attack. Reports are coming in. These aren't normal Zergs, sir. They all exhibit the same something. I don't know.
I was thinking.
Again, what he said. It's very,
That's the way to do it. Time to
very
fight.
difficult.
This will be good hunting.
We just whacked some weird Zerg, sir. They all have yellow eyes. I just thought they were stupid looking, so I shot them. That's pretty funny. Okay, so this is an armored repair specialist, so we don't have base building. Not through this anyways. Well, hopefully we bought enough time for that shuttle, but we don't really know, I guess.
Are we there yet?
Nope. I'll see you later, Zealot. The Zerg presence is increasing, sir. We must eliminate their hive cluster soon. Our allies won't be able to hold up long. So this is actually a pretty neat mission. Concept anyways. Like, you even see the Stargate is actually trying to warp in a unit. I'm interested to see how he pulled this AI off, where it's actually building scouts. It doesn't seem to be sending them anywhere, but he could have, you know, added a trigger to say like, oh, send them this way. We got a Valkyrie over here.
You got my attention.
Tell me what to do.
Right, I'm trying to get a bead on
Tell me what to do.
my hotkeys here, because there's lots of units so far. Whoa. Armored Sirens vessel, okay. It's definitely beefed up. Okay, so we do have some guys over here, and a couple drop ships. I'm not really sure what we're supposed to use these for. I guess basically we... Oh, okay, so this is actually a Protoss base, which is why that Stargate was building the scout. So I imagine they will form attack forces every now and then and throw them at the enemy base for us. And we can just accompany them while on the way. It's very strange that we have the freedom of air units in this kind of situation. It's something that, personally, I think it's better to limit the player's gameplay ability at this point, because they're kind of at the mercy of the AI, and you want to focus on structuring it so that the AI works against them well, and you know, if it's the enemy AI, and the AI works with them well if it's an allied one. I'm not seeing much, but this map is very large. We'll have to judge whether or not it's appropriately large. Do have some white Protoss here. Looks like they are... Oh, we got some Marines as well. So we could just rescue units with this science vessel, which is kind of silly. Got another dropship. I'm just not really even looking to get those units. I'm just kind of walking around baffled and trying to find the location of the enemy base. So this is probably one of the stranger missions so far anyways. But we can use these dropships to move our tanks around anyhow. Which will be pretty useful. No dialogue here. Oh, good to see you, sir. These Zerg are ferocious. We took out a few, but they have 3 key bases. Still, again, no transmissions so far. We're not getting anything like that. AI is moving out here. Stop chasing the fucking... Jesus Christ. They're dumb medic. So we don't have vision of the Protoss, so it is going to be a little difficult to follow them, but I'll order my units over now. And we'll see if we can't meet up with them. We got a lone medic here. I like the fact that some units are placed around, but it's very strange to
These will be good hunting.
to see overall like just random units hanging out doing nothing. And these AI are also kind of flying around the map. Oh, we do have some enemies. And once again, there's no rescuable or no different color for the heroes, so it's going to be hard to differentiate Jimmy and Miko as well if we ever get any ghosts. So once again, let's hockey our science vessel here and see if we can continue scouting out, because I really don't have any idea of what to expect right now. I'm definitely perturbed by the lack of direction. I feel like in this case, the player is given both too much control and not enough direction. It's kind of a combination. Because I can just walk around with the science vessel and go places that the AI doesn't really necessarily know, and then I can exploit the AI by dropping tanks behind their mineral line or something. I have a lot more opportunities or options to cheese the AI, it feels like right now. I'm actually, speaking of which, I am going to siege my tanks and just hold out in this area, since I do see that there are some Zerglings running amok every now and then, and of course there was that attack wave that did hit me earlier. This is really big. I think this might actually be the biggest map size, or close to it. But StarCraft is always deceptive with its aspect ratio and its resolution, so it can be difficult. So you can see we are seeing some Zerg move around there. I'm actually going to
Tell me what to do.
move my forces over.
Want to turn up the heat?
Keep our SCV a little bit further back. One thing I would have liked to see is maybe some additional units, if we are supposed to be, in the future after the Brood War. We got some obvious changes to the heroes, but nothing in the form of a new unit so far. I know the Fenix eventually does come into our hands as far as a ship goes, but it would be cool to see something a little more. Something to make these missions a little more unique, I feel. Oh, or you could just do regular gameplay design, obviously. Not everything has to be a total conversion or something along those lines. But so far, what I'm getting from this is a huge amount of empty space. I mean, look, so far, this upper left quadrant of the map is actually useless besides this base. I just found one pylon. Cool. Oh, and another thing I do want to mention is that if the structure is this damaged and on fire, there's a good likelihood that these shields aren't supposed to be like that. Like the shields shouldn't be there. What you can do is make it so that there's a trigger that you preserve trigger, and as long as the pylon is there, bring pylon to pylon 1, right? There's a location. As long as that is the case, I saw lots of Zerg beyond that river ahead. Those yellow-eyed freaks are about to get a taste of my shotgun. Well, it would be cool if you had a shotgun. And river, I didn't see a river at all yet. These are all Zerglings? Okay, so I should be able to take them out with the Marine Medic combo. I didn't want to waste any energy on a Radiate since it's not upgraded, it's just the 200 energy count. But as far as this goes... Oh, holy shit. Alright, now's the time good time to use a Radiate. See, these guys are set to M move and not P for patrol. Alright, let's back these guys up so they get hit by the tanks. So yeah, they got held up by their own pathing, and of course I intercepted 2 of them on the way in and damaged some in AoE. But that definitely could have been worse. Looks like we got another random medic hanging out. So she can go fuck off to the top. As long as the pylon over there it remains there, so if the player kills it, the trigger's not just running, wasting up trigger spaces, which can actually be of concern during certain cases. These tanks are doing more damage to me than they are doing to them, it feels like, so I might unsiege them and just start moving my units up as a whole.
Going my way.
Turn up the heat.
Destination. We have you on visual.
Are we there yet?
Destination.
So that's not everyone,
Achtung! I am eager to help.
but it should be fairly
Forces are
soon.
under attack.
The forces are under attack? By what?
Go ahead.
I'm actually going to start moving with the Wraiths instead. They are significantly faster than the Science Vessel at this point, even though it's armored, and these Wraiths are more fragile.
Attack formation.
Won't have to worry too much about it.
Coordinates received. Attack formation. Coordinates received.
But as long as that trigger is running and the pylon is there, the pylon won't have any shields. You just set the shields to 0. That allows it to
Attack formation.
look more realistic, kind of. It's just a minor aesthetic thing. I wasn't pointing it out as necessarily a detraction of the project overall. More so just saying, if you're thinking about it, think about adding that little extra level of detail. It takes all of 2 minutes to set it up and then copy and paste the trigger for every single individual
Vector locked in.
instance of burning Protoss building or any building that you have lying around. Oh boy, Reavers. So Reavers are incredibly useful even if they're just slowly moving along the map if they are in the control of the AI. Just on the basis that they just shit on Zerg. They're basically one of the hardest counters to Zerg, while still being a fairly dynamic unit in the hands of a player. But in the hands of an AI, even Terran or other Protoss can get fucked up by these guys. So I'm actually very, very
I follow.
interested in ordering
Eager to help.
my Wraiths
Don't
to
keep me waiting.
Go ahead, Commander.
protect these guys.
Coordinates received.
And I think I just hotkeyed about a fuck ton of, like, half a control group of
Coordinates received.
medics to one group, which is not what I want to do. I just wanted, like, the 2 that were left over. Okay, so I'm going to try to escort these guys into a favorable position
Locked in.
against the...
Coordinates received. Vector locked in. Coordinates received.
Okay, it looks like they aren't going
Your
after the
forces are under attack.
fences, so... What? Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I look away for 1 second and everything's gone to shit.
Coordinates
So I don't know if these AI are actually unallied to one another, or...
Coordinates received. Standing back. Coordinates. Roger.
Planes do pretty shit damage overall. Well, it looks like a structure was blown up at some point.
Roger.
And I do hear combat without any
Lead, I
alerts.
follow.
So,
Identify target. Orders,
Lead, I
Did someone
follow.
page me?
Orders, sir. Identify target.
I am eager to help.
as far as anti-air goes, I
Lead,
should be
follow.
able
Time
to...
to fight. Tell me what to do.
Oh yeah, the Reaver art is just blowing people up. So this is what I'm saying.
Are we there yet? I was thinking that. Time
These
to
Reavers
fight.
are just hanging
These
here
will be
doing...
good hunting.
just completely wrecking
Time to fight.
everyone's shit. Oh, I don't want to stand next to them because they will fuck me.
Going my way. Tell me what to do.
Miko does some pretty decent damage. Out there as an observer.
I follow. Time to fight.
Hey guys, help me out
That's
here,
the
huh?
way to do it. These will be good hunting. I was thinking that. That's the way to do it.
Okay, so let's move our tanks up. I'm just going to control group our tanks to 2 at this
Are we
point.
there yet?
I'm gonna lead with Miko because I think he deals the most DPS out of them all. Oh, thanks. I really needed that. Where the hell's my repair guy? Queue him up to repair some stuff. Oh, you gotta be... Wow!
Going my way.
You guys suck dick, man. I hate you.
Yes, mon ami. I'm on my way.
And I think unless there's decent damage here, this is where I have to click about 1 million units just to figure this out. So, scouts are actually really decent. What the fuck? God damn, Scarab Splash. Scouts are very, very decent in the hands of the AI. The reason why nobody builds them as players, they don't do as much... They're not cost efficient at all. They're very slow to build. AI doesn't give a shit about that. AI gets money for free. AI... Commander, our Protoss allies are running low on resources. We must strike them hard, yes? Oh, don't worry, baby. But, the AI doesn't care about that, because even though they're clunky as all hell, and they don't work out too well, if you're a player, that literally means nothing to the AI, because the AI can build 1 million Stargates, and those millions of Stargates can
Tell me what to do. That's the way to do it.
Spawn millions of scouts, because they have millions of dollars to spend whatever they want. So this is where the size and scale of this map really would lend way better to a build and destroy situation, I believe. I don't think it's even debatable.
Go ahead,
So we do have these drop ships. I'm gonna throw these guys into a drop ship.
Buckle up.
And order the
Hang on. We're in
drop
for
ship
some
down
jobs.
there. Meanwhile, you have taken out one base, but there's no way to determine where the others are. Don't have vision of the AI. Oh, hi. See you later, I guess.
You got my attention.
Are we there yet? That's the way to do it. I was thinking that.
Whoa, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Well, thanks, AI. Queens will always target workers for spawn breathing for some reason. Particularly SCVs. They just hate everything about those guys. So I don't really want to use Black Sheep Wall here, but it's getting to look like not that I might have to, but that it's just going to be an insane journey to attempt this map without it. Oh, well, that's pretty good. Actually.
Input coordinates.
Where did those other dropships fly off to?
Go ahead, HQ.
Some of these guys over here.
Coordinates received.
Got some more units. That's 2 dropships worth of units.
Transmit coordinates. Go ahead.
And we got some more down here. Oh, good. You guys can repair everything. Now, it looks like he decreased the speed, or decreased the time cost of these wraiths, and normalized the mineral and gas costs so that these get lowered evenly. Since we can't build anything, what you could have done, or what you, like Desler's was gonna watch this video, but what anyone really could have done in either event is actually
Go ahead, HQ. Buckle up.
take this and say, you know,
Reporting in.
basically what you can do is make everything cost just minerals, and that way you can really mitigate that. Like you can really figure out exactly what is
Coordinates received.
what the costs are going to be for all these things, you know, that sort of thing.
I'm listening. In transit, HQ.
Okay, so let's drop these units off over here.
Receiving headquarters. Standing by.
The SCVs are really good because I do need them, and it looks like the AI is seeking to expand, which will help mitigate that lack of resources that they were talking about. But unfortunately, I can't see what that even means. I can't see... Wait, is the AI running out of resources? Because I don't have vision of them. I can't see where the enemy's base is. Like, this would look way better. What the hell is Brainer with these guys? This would look way better. This would feel way better, even though it still wouldn't really be great, but it would feel way better than it does right now. If we had some vision, some context for the mission. This is a way bigger mission than the last one. It's not even in the same area, it doesn't seem like. So very strange that they're just like Oh, hello.
Roger. Vector locked
Oh,
in.
hello.
Reporting in. Standing by.
Greetings, Command.
This guy's getting hotkey to a different hotkey than the other guy. And I'm just gonna blindly set him off because I have him to spare.
Roger. Coordinates received.
I'll take some free units. Wait, where the hell?
Roger. Attack formation.
Oh, I keep thinking that this has all of the features of 116 because it is a lower
Roger.
version. That it does not quite have that. So I keep trying to hold shift in hotkey, so you can actually add two control groups that way.
Coordinates received.
Can't do that here.
Roger. Coordinates received.
Your forces are
Oh well. See you later. Was nice knowing you. Okay, we do have sight on a hive.
Attack formation.
See what else we can find. Maybe there can be some. There will be some men close to here that we can use to establish a foothold fairly close to the outskirts of the Zerg hive. It doesn't look like it so far. And that's fine if there isn't.
Attack
Oh, hi.
formation. Coordinates received. Attack formation.
Oh, thanks. I needed the second ensnare as well. You fuck.
Standing by. Go ahead.
I'm trying to draw that Devourer out. Devourers are another example of why why like scout-like units, where they're just very, very obnoxiously expensive.
Coordinates received. Attack formation.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm out of here.
Vector locked in. Reporting in. Coordinates received. Go ahead, Wind. Attack formation. Reporting in. Go ahead, Wind. Vector locked in.
You can see the Queen just missed, just like the AI missed Psystorm the
Vector
other mission. Holy shit!
received. Roger.
Okay, well, we can't even cloak because of acid spores.
Attack formation. Coordinates received. Standing by. Coordinates received.
Holy shit, they're all still after us. What the fuck? Well, double kill.
Systems functional.
Can you not exist? That'd be pretty cool. So, we are running into a pretty big problem here so far, is that the AI... Where the hell are these Hydras coming from? So the AI, in essence, is way stronger than us because it can build
Go ahead,
its
HQ.
own units.
Buckle up.
So far, we have not found the, any
Don't keep me
chance of
waiting.
doing that on our own. We still have to explore the surrounding area here. Valkyrie is not so good against those. They're way better against Scourge and Mutas, which shit against Devourers. And in fact, Wraiths are really the only area that are decent against Devourers, but Devourers are also just
I'm eager to
very,
wait.
very annoying to deal with in general.
Input coordinates. In the 5
So we are going to continue to find more units, so just kind of lying around. This is a dick move, Desler. I gotta make one of these units walk or send more than one.
Achtung! Achtung! Jawohl. Perfect.
More than one dropship. Looks like I've found another cluster. It looks weaker than the other one, so I might try to
Jawohl.
take this one out first. Because if I do that, I figure the AI might expand there. That'll allow it to get more of a foothold and maybe start challenging this orange AI that seems way more aggressive than the teal one has so far. I haven't actually seen a teal unit, so I didn't even know to look for that. So, looks like we got more base down here that we gotta worry about. By more base, I did mean that literally there's just more base.
Hang on, we're in for some chop.
So,
Don't keep me waiting.
it would be pretty funny if I walked in a circle around some reinforcements there, so I'm going to send a Valkyrie up there since I'm not actually using them for anything.
Achtung!
They might as well make themselves useful somehow. As my science vessel continues to explore. Explorer reporting, quite literally.
We have you on visual. Greetings, Command. Transmit orders. Commencing. We have you on visual.
I'm trying to make him say explorer reporting, but it is not working out so far. So these AI are very responsive to any threats. Ordering into defensive matrix itself just stops it, so I was just testing to see if he could do that, and Much to my unsurprise, you actually cannot.
Affirmative, sir. Let's roll.
Excuse me.
Commencing.
Kindly fuck off.
Affirmative,
That's
sir.
insanity.
Let's roll.
Please. Why? What did I do to you? I walked past your goddamn base. Not even walk, I flew. Flew past your base. Yeah, I know it. My force is dead, basically. I might take out 4 Devourers with it,
Receiving
though.
headquarters.
Holy shit.
Affirmative.
Ooh. Well, it did take out 3. It almost took out the 4th one as well. So just random Hydralisks are in this neighborhood.
Jawohl.
Calling
State the
online.
nature of your medical emergency.
They really have expanded pretty easily into this area. And this looks like it's just a big old river. Holy shit! They have a huge fucking force. Okay. Looks like some overlords were with them as well. So we're gonna lure the
Something destroyed.
units over here. We got birdlinged at some point. I'm not even sure how that happened. And then we're gonna stim these marines. I may actually be inaudible at this point. Stim Rainer. Looks like these Valkyries will bravely sacrifice themselves to allow us to kill every single Devourer. And then we've got like a couple of Guardians here or there that are just kind of straggling along. So that massive attack force did end up failing, but they have 2-2 upgrades, so our Marines, which normally don't do that well against Guardians anyways, but fare a little better than some of the others, are completely fucked.
Someone page
Oh, thanks. You know what? I wish I could hunt you down, but I can't.
It's
So.
showtime.
Alright, so it looks like we've gathered pretty much every unit that is on the map.
Yes, sir. Destination.
Calling online.
I am eager to
We're gonna
help.
get these SCVs to repair the... excuse me, I keep losing my voice in the middle of talking.
I'm on the job.
It's definitely not appealing for somebody who's trying to cast something, as you might imagine. I'm gonna continue moving our units down here.
These will be good hunting.
Did someone page
I'm gonna get our Valkyries repaired so we can continue to use them to scout. Had that attack come over here, that would have certainly trashed this area.
Destination? I copy that.
Heavily armored dropship. I didn't even notice that. So
Did
they
something
will
destroy.
Good coordinates.
Don't
they
keep
will
me
take quite a
waiting.
pounding, it looks like. So
Perfect.
Go ahead, HQ.
let's get ourselves transferred over here. And we are just going to assault this smaller base down here, and it looks like this is a good example of wasted space being like literally exactly what I'm talking about, because of the fact that you're literally talking about like a almost max-size map. It feels like. Now again, it feels that way. I could be wrong. The fact that they have upgrades is so destructive to the gameplay pattern. Because we have no way to get upgrades. But regardless, I suppose that's just a punishment for taking too long, because of course it takes time for the AI to upgrade.
Where does it hurt?
I'm really gonna wish I had a detector right now. Fucking hell. Holy shit, dude. This is insanity. We don't have enough fucking units to move back and forth at this point. Okay, the tanks will make it a little more difficult for them to aggress like that.
Target designated.
Okay. That's still pretty difficult here. Are you kidding me? I should have killed that one. Holy fuck. No matter how dumb this looks right now, it's way worse than Legacy of the Void, don't worry. Alright, there's still like a couple of them here and there. Okay, that one's at full health, so I shouldn't have even really bothered attacking it. Okay, we did get that last one lick of damage in, so hopefully that's all of the pre-placed fucking workers, because I hope they weren't well, they were building some of them. I know for a fact. Heroes probably would have been alright in taking care of that, so
Destination?
I'll move our dropships out of the way because they are just going to clutter us
Input
up here.
coordinates.
The rest of these down here. I'm not making use of hotkeys because I'm a lazy fuck.
Destination, move it.
Not really any other...
Proceeding.
Well, I guess there could be another explanation, and it would be that I'm bad, but everybody already knew that, so... Just gonna take it a little slow.
Identify target.
Looks like the Zerg are not content to allow us to do that and are just going to one-shot all of our tanks. Oh, they did say that these weren't normal Zerg, but I don't think they changed the stats on them. When I say they interchangeably with the developer a lot, you'll notice, because I'm used to
That's
things
the way to do it.
having more, Jesus Christ. No,
Tell
stop
me
it.
what to do.
So lots of many men.
Going my way.
Okay, these structures are actually
That's the way to do it.
laid out in such a way where it feels like they were deliberately trying to wall off the enemy.
These will be good hunting.
So this Goliath's gonna pop pretty soon. So it did. So did the Fire Bat, which was pretty useless. I got rid of him. I'm just gonna slowly chip away at the base for now.
Going my way. That's the way to do it.
We're just gonna take out the production structures. Move some more units up. We should be able to actually take out these lower defenses by tanking with units that are not named Goliaths. We actually just, through blind luck, took out a... Through blind luck, we took out a lurker. I was pretty worried when I heard the burrow sound start to channel. So at this point, I really don't know how we're supposed to take on the other AI. It said the briefing of this mission listed the objectives as working with the Protoss. You don't really get a chance to do that though.
You lead, I follow.
Did someone page me? Did someone page me?
Tell me what to do. That's the way to do it.
Tell me what to do. That's the way to do
Tell me
it.
what to do. These will be good hunting. That's the way to do it.
So you can see our heroes do a fair bit of damage.
Time to fight. I was thinking.
Another thing that's a little presentation related. You'll notice when Miko attacks, his rifle is the Valkyrie missile actually doesn't appear like it's flying out of the gun. It appears like it's flying out of
I
him.
follow.
It's because originally the Ghost doesn't have a
These
projectile,
will be good hunting.
so there's no offset by default in Dat Edit, or at this point it was Arsenal that they were probably using.
Tell me
So
what to
something that's worth mentioning is
do. You lead, I follow. That's
so
the
you
way
can
to do
actually
it.
add an X
Time to
offset
fight.
or a Y offset depending on what
Tell
you
me
need,
what to do. You lead, I follow.
and that would allow you to
Going my way.
make it look a little bit better anyways. So I'm not quite sure how we approach that. Oh, it looks like we can just go around here if we so desire, but it doesn't look like we can get down. Oh, maybe. Let's find out with these Velks. We didn't fully scout out this area. In the meantime, I am gonna load up some units because we're down to the wire in terms of how many units we have, so don't really have that many compared to how many that we did have before we attacked the space and lost them all to the lurkers. So now no pathway down here. I'm probably gonna aggro a million devourers again. But... Hey, look, what did I say? 1, a million, same thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna lure this dumbass devourer and all of his dumbass fucking friends. Who, it doesn't look like we actually are going to see any dumbass fucking friends, just the dumbass devourer. He's gonna die a stupid death, a pointless, avoidable death. Assuming he didn't leash back. Okay, it took him forever, but he did.
Jacked up and good to go. Go, go, go.
I copy that.
Need medical attention?
Go ahead,
We'll
HQ.
load up the rest in a
Hang on,
sec.
we're in for some chop.
But first,
Strap yourselves in, boys.
I'm going to do something a little dumb and unload them right there.
I was thinking.
Meanwhile,
Something I can do for you? I'm on my way.
I'm listening.
the rest of my units will work their way down here. And the point what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the units to get here. I'm going to unload them here. And then I'm going to load the others back up, including my heroes, which are the big important ones, and unload those. There
Destination?
as well. I should
Systems functional.
Destination?
Confirmed.
I should get my Goliath here repaired. So even the minor things like these armor changes for the units could have been useful for some of the ground units as well. The tanks seem very, very underwhelming given the fact that the enemy AI gets upgrades. So they just shred through you. You don't have any upgrades to start out with. So maybe an armored tank would have been in order.
Hang on, we're in for
Would
some
have
chop.
been very useful, in my opinion.
Input coordinates. Strap yourselves in, boys.
Well, there goes one of those Goliaths. Probably the one I just repaired.
Where does it hurt?
You lead, I follow.
Destination? In transit, HQ. In the
Excuse me, what the fuck? Get the hell back down there.
Need medical attention? Death. Where does it hurt? On my way.
In transit, HQ. Go ahead,
Who else
HQ.
has a unit in here? In them?
Right away, sir. Order scout.
Or was that it?
Input coordinates.
I don't know why the
Yes, no,
that
no, no.
fucking
My way.
Link online.
unit
Target
tried to do
designated.
that. Oh, thanks. Fuck you.
Go ahead, TACOM.
So at this point, it looks like the AI is exhausted, has no minerals to build
Tell
units.
me what to do. This will be good hunting.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, HQ.
Dude, what is going on with this fucking dropship?
Input coordinates. Hang on, we're in
It's
for some
loading
chop.
random shit into it.
Tell me what to do. You lead, I follow.
So we need to pull back here. Pathing is going to be great fun because even though I told these units to move back, they didn't quite get the memo.
I was thinking that. This will be good hunting. You lead, I follow.
Okay. Oh, we got an Ultralisk. He's caught behind the Greater Spire. Never mind, he's right here.
Commander, anytime you're ready.
Yes, guys, focused on the Mutalisk. Wise choice.
I'm on my way.
But it doesn't matter because our heroes have lots of health, so I guess this isn't as insane as I initially accused it of being, but certainly seemingly ass-backwards design so far. We can move our Valks up a little bit here, try to start whittling down the queens,
You can do it.
and whatever else comes our way.
Where does it hurt?
Waiting for your signal, yes? Several here.
Seems like Anlissa has an ice script that forces her to attack twice after a short delay, which just means that instead of just having flat bonus attack damage. Holy shit, what the fuck? Hey, you might want to change your target focus there, girl. I know you're French, but it doesn't mean you surrendered a big ol' Ultralisk. So it looks like they are building Ultras constantly. So I'm going to use Raynor to block them away from the Dark Storm. We don't want a repeat of what happened earlier in my other video that you can use for this campaign as an example. And Lissa is going to fucking die.
I'll have it done right away. Moving out.
And so is Raynor.
I'm on my way.
And Raynor's dead, I think.
I'll have it done right away. I'll get right on it.
Never mind. I think we barely got him out. Okay.
Destination in transit, HQ.
Okay, holy fuck, dude. That was the worst.
Go ahead, HQ. In the 5, 5 by 5.
Why the hell do they have so many units, and where the hell are the Protoss? In fact, I'm black sheep walling this because this is pretty annoying. So we do in fact have every unit on the map that we could possibly get. Zerg are just running around the map doing nothing. Overlord's having seizures in a corner. AI has all these units. It's just not using, and I'm sitting here fighting a battle that I clearly don't need to actually fight given the circumstances. So
Something
You lead, I
can
follow.
do for
That's the way to do it.
I'm listening. Go ahead, HQ. Hang
This
on,
seems
we're
very
doing a
ass
job.
backwards to me, at least at the current stage of the
Go
game.
ahead, HQ.
There doesn't seem to be a reason why you would need
Right
to
away.
play a mission in this
On my way.
manner,
Need medical attention?
given the
Did someone page
circumstances.
me?
Destination?
So we're just gonna
You
form a
lead, I
wall.
follow. Going my way.
Raider here.
You lead, I follow.
And you can see the Ultras are already getting very confused. And take care of the Hydra very, very quickly.
Yes, mon ami.
And the Ultra really has no idea what the fuck to do about the situation. Very, very upset. So we will just sit here and whittle them down, I guess, because we can't really do anything else. Unless I were to replay the entire mission, because of course I didn't save. Did not actually expect this mission to be that challenging. Oh, great. Now we get to... Well, it doesn't matter because they don't actually do anything, so... XD.
Raider here. Oh yeah.
So we actually are slowly whittling them down. Oh, we did get
Something
plagued.
to stay
That's
engaged
okay,
with
we
your
can
medical
just...
emergency.
Not enough energy.
Right away.
Nice try, guy.
Destination?
I read you. Affirmative. Right away.
Go ahead, HQ.
Yes, sir.
Still got one more to do.
I read you.
So, that was almost all of the Ultras. We still got 2 more to deal with. But they aren't building any more units, you'll see, so...
Did someone
We can
page me?
move the medic wall up here. This is pretty asinine, obviously. So now the Ultralisk. I keep calling them Ultralisks because of Saga the Zitsun. So these 2 Ultralisks are going to have a
Did someone page me?
greatly annoying
State the
time
nature of your medical emergency.
dealing with this
Need medical
situation.
attention?
You lead, I follow.
We're going to go ahead and... who has the most health out of here? Looks like Raynor.
Oh yeah.
He probably has the most armor as well, so we're going to use him to block the last remaining Ultralisks,
Are under attack.
assuming they come back, because they're just roving in packs because they are, again, not having a great time currently. We're going to break the Ultralisk wall, or Ultralisk wall, anti-Ultralisk wall, using medics, and we're just going to take him head on here. I think we should be able to do it. Yeah, looks like we are good to go. Micro him around. Because the main DPS is coming from Nico, because I believe his attacks are actually
Did someone page me?
explosive. So they're doing bonus damage to structures, to Ultralisks. I don't know if we have to kill all Zerg buildings? Destroy all Zerg buildings. Okay, well at least he's clear in the contents of what he's doing. So they are actually building new units. They do have the capabilities to do that, clearly.
You lead, I follow.
Which puzzles me, of course.
I was thinking that. These will be good hunting. Tell me what.
Well, alright, this hive is out of here.
Anytime you're ready.
These will be good hunting.
If only we had kept one of those units alive. The
Time to fight. That's the way to do it.
armored units would have been much better than what we currently have to deal with. So we're going to take out this Hydra Den, then they won't be able to build any more of those Hydralisks or the Lurkers. Still very disappointed that we had to play it in this manner. Given the circumstances, I feel like we should have been able to not do this ass backwards
These will be
shit.
good hunting. Going my way. That's the way to do it.
On my way.
Okay, so we'll just back off here, and we do have to... Oh, shit.
Need medical attention? Did someone page
Not
me?
enough
State the
energy.
nature of your medical emergency.
Oh, I just restored the wrong unit. Okay, so
You lead, I follow.
Raider here.
that wasn't
Tell me
so
what to
bad.
That's the way to do it.
Unfortunately, our medics are idiots.
I was thinking
So we are going to go ahead and try to take this out here.
these will
Okay, looks like we do got it because this one's on Endless, and she's fine right now.
You lead, I follow. I was
We can actually just kill this lurker here. Or back it up, it doesn't matter.
These will be good hunting.
Did someone
Okay, so now we got it in the bag. I thought those sunken colonies might be a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with, but it looks like we're fine for now. We'll even move the Valkyries over and have them hold position.
You lead, I follow. Time to fight.
Have them take out these spore colonies. Oh, thanks! You really helped me out there, buddy, with that psionic storm of yours. That was great. You know what, you should really consider a career in comedy. I mean, you are in this campaign after all.
Waiting for your signal, yeah?
I'm being very mean now, but in all honesty, this mission was a complete and total waste of time. At least that's what it felt like. I really don't see why this couldn't have been way smaller, like 2 or 3 times smaller, and still have all the content that it had in it. I understand the idea that behind you wanting to splat. That's the last Zerg building. Looks like we held off this yellow-eyed Zerg invasion. By the way, Commander, what was that? Well, hell if I know what it was. I could not tell you. Looks like it was 43 minutes and 40 seconds of wasted time in-game. In-game time, of course. So, very strange mission, as I'm sure you've gathered by my commentary and by seeing what happened. Really feels like we could have played that mission way quicker in a way better fashion had Desler not made it so big. I understand that maybe you want to have the idea that's like, oh, you're actually, there's a huge area that you have to scale, and you're walking through this gigantic battleground that you have to, like, there's a sense of scale, a sense of enormity that you can accomplish with that big kind of map size. But it's wasted if there's nothing to interact with. No enemies, no allies, no real connection to make with what you're actually playing. Until you reach an enemy place, and it's actually very frustrating to get there until then because you don't have shared vision of the Protoss. I mean, all those things that I suggested that didn't apply to the map size, like shared vision with the Protoss, more active allies, more active enemies, a place to build some, or not place to build because there were certain places we could have built, but the ability to build those kinds of things instead of making it this arbitrary, obviously unnecessary. Not hero mission, but certainly it wasn't build and destroy. It was a commando mission. I believe is the term that I've used in the past, and the term that most people use. I do believe, and I feel like I don't know. I really do think that it could have been way better than it was. But even if we had changed even if Desler had changed all those things, I still feel like the map size would have been a problem. Even if the AI was smarter, even if there was more to interact with, even if there was more dialogue, even if there was more characterization, even if there was the ability to build units and structures and stuff and actually have it be a build and destroy campaign in a real-time strategy engine, I think it could have been way better. So that's a big... I'm actually kind of glad that we ran into that kind of mission, despite the fact that it was frustrating to play. It really shed some light on how frustrating it can be to play those kinds of missions that have unnecessarily large playable areas, and how also just lackluster it can feel to play through a mission that is anywhere close to that size and that length. It sounds like I'm making a dick joke, but anywhere close to that girth, while still lacking that much dialogue. There's really no dialogue here. There's like 10, maybe 11 transmissions. They're not even transmissions. It's just display text. It's not formatted. There's lots of ways that you could better that presentation. So beyond my nitpicks, try to see past those, as I am just not necessarily nitpicking it, but really just looking at some small things as well. But the big thing there was, of course, the size of the map itself, and of course there were also other issues like the fact that the AI is not really interactable, doesn't really say anything. The units that you rescue for the most part don't say anything, and even when they do, it's that they don't really give you anything. It's not like there's advice like, I mean, there's one situation where the Marine was like, we spotted a whole bunch of them to the, across from a river or something like that. But yeah, you can say that, sure, but maybe show that. Maybe maybe say the orbitals, those science vessels that we get, those armored science vessels. Maybe they can like show us scan or sweep or something in a cinematic, of course, because I don't believe at the time you could mod scan or sweep onto the science vessel for the player to use, although that would have been cool and would have encouraged you to use those units more efficiently, and actually would have probably mitigated some of the issue of the map size a lot more effectively than some of the other things I've suggested. Just adding some kind of unique gameplay functionality to the unit, I feel, would have made it not okay that the map size was that big, but just having something that was more than we got would have been better. That is going to do it for this installment, though, because that was a very sizable mission, and it actually encompassed a fair bit of what I do want people to keep in mind for the next segment of... Or segment, I'm so used to LPing, I guess. So for the next installment, the next episode of Philosophy of Design, I do want to take a look at War of the Tribes, as I mentioned, and hopefully we can get some good material there as well, so we can really talk about just more complex story writing things, because as is pretty obvious right now, the Fenix lacks a lot in the story department and lacks a lot in the characterization and presentation department, voice acting only for unit responses, that kind of thing. So I definitely want to look towards a project that has not just custom portraits, but also just a very different approach to story. And maybe eventually we can start getting into like fully voiced campaigns like Fall from Grace and the later projects that Desler basically worked on and attempted, as well as Legacy of the Confederation could be consideration, but Jay Barrino's already doing a Let's Play of that, and he's way bigger than I am right now on YouTube, so really no point in, I feel like, doubling up or double dipping or whatever you want to call it, especially since he echoes some points. I would be way more critical than he's being, but he's a different person than I am. You know, he's trying to generate hype more so than he is trying to offer a legitimate or in-depth, I should say, critique of the campaign. And if somebody's more interested to hear my thoughts on it, I'd be more likely to sum it up over, you know, a textual chat or something like that. So regardless, this has been me, Pronogo, and if you like this kind of video, be sure to let me know by thumbsing it up and commenting on it, telling me you liked it, or if nothing else, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time I decide to record a video. Hope you guys are enjoying, and see you later.